Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. Today I have 3 9.8 comics you should be hunting for. So the first one is a Predator #1 in a 9.8. First appearance of Predator. I do really like this one. And, Predator's kind of like an alien hunter, so it's kind of appropriate to sort of try to hunt for this one. But I do like a Predator #1. It is a Dark Horse comic book, so I think it's going to be a little bit less printed than a sort of Marvel or DC comic book of this era. And first appearance of Predator was like 2 years ago or so now. Disney got the rights back for Alien and Predator. So I think it's a good bet that at some point there's going to be some pretty great high budget content for Predator coming out, in kind of the short to medium term, hopefully. On the census though, for Predator #1, 348 9.8s in a blue label, 19.6% is the 9.8 ratio. Recent sales for this one, $807.56 and $809. So, I think kind of more used to this one going maybe a little bit closer to 700, so ticking over 800 now. I think this one's just kind of in that range depending on, how lucky you get on the auction. But I think there's some potential there, MCU potential or Disney potential, let's call it. And I think right around $800 for a pretty, low printed, great first appearance in the 9.8. I think Predator #1 is definitely one to hunt for, certainly if you're a big Predator fan. All right, next one. It's a Terminator #1 in a 9.8. So definitely, you'll probably have to hunt this Terminator #1 because there's only 38 in a 9.8, a 1 of 38 in a blue label. So this one's, going to be really tough to grab. And Terminator certainly like hunting John Connor most of the time. So I think this one's an appropriate one to be hunted. 25.2% is the 9.8 ratio on this one. More about that, just 1 of 38 in a 9.8. Fantastic. Saw one sort of recently sell. It was, I think, in February. There's only 38 of these, not a ton of sales, recent sales that I was seeing. But $316 saw one sell for. And I feel like if one kind of popped up in a stealthy auction, it would probably go right around that price. So Terminator 1 is just absolutely one to hunt. I want this one. I'll show you this one because I got these ones in the raw, or a couple of them anyway. Kind of had to go the raw route so far. There's only 38 in the 9.8 of this one, so ended up picking up a really nice newsstand edition that was up for sale in Canada when I really liked this one. And yeah, just looking at it this morning, it pretty much looks like a 9.8. It basically looks unread, untouched. So this is kind of, if I ever do send something into CGC, this could be on that short list. So next one to hunt is a Jurassic Park #1. So yes, dinosaurs are pretty much the best hunters ever on Earth, and you definitely want to try to hunt for this one. Great 9.8, I think. 50 9.8s in a blue label for first appearance of Jurassic Park in comic books. All these ones sort of have that, this one's a Topps comic book. The Terminator one's a Now comic book, Dark Horse comic book on the Predator one. They're all going to be pretty, low printed compared to your normal DC or Marvel comic. So Jurassic Park #1 is absolutely one to target if you're a little bit of a Jurassic Park fan. 59.8s in a blue label, 28.6%, the 9.8 ratio. And recent sale for this one was $340. I think this one was in February as well, getting a little bit back. But I feel like, they would probably sell for about $340. I'm noticing actually quite a few of them on eBay right now. They're a little bit over $340, I believe. But, maybe if you're really liking this one, it could be a decent time to buy. I sort of thought that, maybe you want to be patient here leading into, I'm pretty sure that new Jurassic Park movie, I should have checked when that is coming out. But I remember there were, advertisements, I believe, on the Super Bowl anyway. So I thought maybe this one's going to be a little bit too hot to kind of pick it up. But if a ton are getting graded and all these, sellers are getting a bunch graded in a 9.8 and they're going to flood the market, maybe you can kind of get a decent deal on this one, closer to 300, a little under 300. I think is a pretty great deal on a Jurassic Park #1. And yeah, you got to hunt for this one. Only 50 of them out there. There's, not too many of them out there in the 9.8 on the census. So Jurassic Park #1, I also went the raw route as well. I got a second printing on this one. The second printing is just a little bit kind of a darker color scheme. It basically looks the same, though. It's really hard to tell unless you have them back to back. But this one's still in the poly bag as well, and then I just kind of bagged and boarded it as well. This one looks really good too. Looking this morning, this is a possible 9.8 candidate too. So went the raw route so far on a Jurassic Park #1. I'm on the lookout for these ones. I'm hunting for these ones in a 9.8. Certainly, I've had some chances to kind of add the Predator #1 book in a 9.8, but it is pretty, pretty expensive. It is a great one, but maybe I honestly never even read that Predator #1, so I don't know if it's a movie adaptation or something completely different. But the only reason I kind of want that one is because I'm a huge Predator Arnold fan growing up. I loved the Predator movie. But Terminator 1, Jurassic Park #1, I think they're pretty decent values. I'd be really interested in adding, those two right around the fair value, right around kind of $300, let's call it, in a 9.8. I think those ones got pretty bright futures with them being low printed, big brands, Jurassic Park, Terminator, Predator. So I really like these ones. Definitely worth hunting for on a quick short list today for these three. All right, team. Thanks so much for watching, though. I'll see you on the next one. If you're liking my content, please subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll keep you updated on future videos.